Yes, guys. Big up, everybody. Apologies for the lateness, all of that crap. Here's what it is. You guys already know the stream. You already know the channel. You already know. That's just our thing, innit? That's just our thing. But we're back. We're back to chop up another Chelsea game. Unfortunate draw up at Goodison Park, which is just standard of that fixture. We're used to just being frustrated every time we head up north. The good thing is, it's the last time we'll ever have to see that shithole again. Thank the Lord for that. But guys, also don't forget to sub to the channel while you're here. Not just this channel. Sub to CB, sub to Casually FC. The links are down in the title. The links are in the description as well. It will not send you anywhere except just to a new tab. So you guys can keep listening to us, and you guys can also do that and rise up everybody's channels in the same breath. But yeah, big up to everybody. Hit the like, subscribe, all of that shit. Andrew, it's great to have you back on as always. Merry Christmas, because I won't get the chance to say it after this, but big up, and hope the weekend's been good.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to wherever you celebrate, stuff like that. Yeah, the weekend was good, apart from our game. You know what I mean, the result wise and stuff like that. But yeah, it was all good. We'll discuss it further. But looking forward to Christmas. It's all good.
Trust. I hear that. CB as well. Welcome back, bro. Hope everything's been good. Merry Christmas as well. And how have you been, man?
Merry Christmas. I've been good, man. Can't complain. Obviously, the result weren't what we wanted, but could be worse, innit? We could be in a crisis. Our best player could have no hamstring. So, what
crisis?
I mean, you know what I'm saying? There's certain players, there's certain clubs that, their star boys are injured till March and stuff like that, So, I'm not really worried.
No, I hear that. Like, obviously, I hope Saka gets well soon and everything. To the Arsenal fans, I can't lie. I can't feel bad for them. I remember their reaction to Rodri getting injured.
Yeah, exactly.
All of that shit. I ain't got to hold
that. Even Lewin Yamal last week, I saw something like, don't compare. Everyone wants to be compared to Saka too. You have to do Saka minutes. That was last week.
No way they're beefing teenagers out here.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that was last week. I was seeing all of that. So
them lot up north really have no semblance of shame or decorum, bruv. What in the fucking state? That is disgusting. But speaking on the Everton game, I have looked at Maresca's quotes. I didn't get a chance to check it during the watch along and everything. He seemed relatively optimistic about the game. I'm reading his quotes. He said, "I'm absolutely happy, more happy than the Brentford game, with it being a tricky game, a tricky stadium, a tricky team. They are one of the 5 best teams defensively in Europe in terms of clean sheets." And I did anticipate it was going to be a very difficult game for us in terms of trying to break them down anyway. But how did you feel specifically coming out of that game? Because I know for you, you're looking more at the title race than I'd say I am. I'm not too sure about where Surfer stands on that one. But as frustrated as I am that we didn't win, I don't find myself as annoyed as I would have been like a season or two ago, just because I see the amount of ground that we've built up in terms of confirming top 4. And it's kind of allowed us a little slip up like this. Obviously, depending on the next few games as well. But in terms of this one game, I'm just annoyed we didn't win, but that's about it. It's about it, really.
Yeah, really. It's same. Like in games like this, where as a fan base as well, we know it's December. We've gone there with a makeshift back 4. We know our form in December. We know what our record is at Goodison Park. We've gone out there with a point. And on top of that, it's the last time we're ever going to play in that godforsaken stadium. I look at the fact that with that makeshift back 4, we kept a clean sheet. That's a positive in that sense. I look at the fact that in terms of our team, individual performances wasn't the greatest. I think we could have left with a win. Jackson was unlucky. We didn't create much really outside of those 2 chances. And it is what it is. I'm looking at the fact that we're making it out this winter period unbeaten, November and December. I would, if someone told me that last month, I would take a draw at Goodison Park. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, like when you look at what we've been doing over the last couple of months, we've built ourselves this sort of gap. Like, you look at the top 4 rivals, I think we're 8 points clear of Aston Villa. We're even further clear of the likes of Tottenham, the likes of Manchester United. Our top 4 rivals right now are looking like Brighton and Nottingham Forest. Teams that we are better than. Even if Forest have got a much more improved defensive system as opposed to last season, we're still a much better side than they are. We've got much better consistency and a much more stronger forward line. Brighton, to be honest, their form over the last few weeks hasn't even been great in itself. So to me, like, this is the sort of game that nobody really cares about, just as long as we pattern the games afterwards. If we go and we beat Fulham, we go and we beat Ipswich and Crystal Palace, no one's giving a damn about this draw against Everton. But it would still just would have been nice to get the victory as well. Andrew, what was your thoughts, bro?
I was disappointed with Maresca's approach to this game in terms of his team selection and our tactics. The Gusto inversion thing doesn't work. It just doesn't work for me. He can't do that role. He just doesn't have the foresight. It's not drilled into him to do that. He doesn't have the attributes to do it. And so I was like, because I felt so sorry for Neto yesterday, because he's basically like an island onto himself on that right-hand side, because Disassi wasn't going to support him in any way. And yeah, and also our tactics, I haven't seen us play that slow in ages. I just found us playing really slow yesterday in build-up and everything. And that's probably the wrong tactic to play against a severe low block. Do you know what I mean? It just means they've got more time to settle into their low block places. Do you know what I mean? Because we've given them enough time. And also thought his substitutions were too late. And also thought his choice of substitutions were incorrect as well. I would have taken Palmer and Sancho off. And I would have put Neto on the left. I'd kept Jackson. I'd put Neto on the left. I'd put Madueke on and put Felix on. And I would have switched Gusto back to right back and bring Vega on at left back or invert him or something like that and just try it that way, just see what we could do. And he should have done it. He should have done it around the 60th minute, because CB said it in the second half. I don't even remember us having a chance in the second half. I really don't. No clear-cut chances really stand out. You know, Pickford's not walking away man of the match. In fact, they had probably the more clearer chances in the second half.
We had like 2 opportunities, but they were like half chances where the ball was floating towards the final third.
They had the most clear chance that Harrison with Sanchez saved, and then Tosin blocked an attempted shot as well. So, yeah, I was sort of disappointed in just the approach and everything like that. I mean, he's going to come out and say he's happy with it. I don't necessarily believe he was happy with it, because I saw him on the sideline. He didn't look happy. Some things are happening. So, yeah, I think I'm not angry. I'm frustrated at a missed opportunity, I think. Because I think if we'd played normally, as we normally have over the last like 5 or 6 games, I think eventually we would have cracked Everton open. Do you know what I mean? I think we would have done that. And yeah, I don't know. It's just, I come away thinking just a missed opportunity to, whether you believe in a tight race or not, extend the lead over the top 4 rivals and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? It's one of those, just a bit frustrated, but you know, it's one of those things. You know, at least, you know, we're still up there, a point gain on everyone else. It would be nice to actually get out of that shit ground with a last win. You know what I mean? Just
nice way to say fuck off and like we're done with you.
Yeah, you rancid ground. You know what I mean? That ground is so rubbish.
You've sat in that away end before, ain't you?
Oh, wooden seats.
The fucking poles, and they don't even give you restricted view, and you still gotta try and like.
You gotta like go like that. You're behind the pole.
See if there's a chance. Oh shit! Who was that?
Yeah, who scored? Dead. Yeah, who scored? I can't see.
No way is that.
Oh, you done Goodison, right?
No, I've never.
Oh yeah, you're better off.
Your blessings, man. Count your blessings, man.
I'll travel Liverpool for Liverpool, not for Everton.
Yeah, exactly.
Just on this though, because I've seen this narrative. I've seen people speaking about this a little bit over the last 24 hours. I saw Ziad touch on this on El Awa. I've seen a few people talk about this in the chat as well. Maresca and the substitutes. Now, I still think it's a little bit too far to say that he's worse than Poch on that. But in terms of the subs, I'm starting to think they are coming a little bit too late at times now. We have a habit of the odd half-time sub, which we do see as like Maresca identifying something wrong in the first half, instantly rectifying. But I think after that point, we don't really see a lot of changes until past the 70, 75-minute mark. And I think in games, especially games like this, that is a little bit of a problem. Because we could look at that game ourselves and think, look, we need Vega on. Move Gusto to the right-hand side. Just get Disassi away from having to be responsible for those wide areas because it wasn't working. And before people say this is not a scapegoating Disassi thing, in spite of the fact that I didn't think he had a great game, I don't think he's the sole reason why we didn't win it. It's just an observation of his individual performance. But I also think it helps us in build-up play a bit more. If you got a Vega on the left-hand side, or even more importantly, Gusto's just out of the left and you push him onto the right. João Felix, I think that game was screaming for someone at João Felix's nature, someone who's happy to take on a player 1v1 quickly without slowing down the game, someone who will take a shot quickly, and he's got the ball striking technique where he could be a danger in the final third. We didn't see either of those. We got like-for-like subs in Nkunku for Jackson, Noni for, I think, was it Neto? Was it Neto?
Yeah, Neto for Noni. And
that was criminal as well.
Yeah. He was our best forward.
That sub was criminal.
Yeah.
So, like, also, what's you guys' thoughts been on Maresca's substitutions?
In terms of subs, I agree. I think he reminds me of Conte with the subs. It's like you don't even expect it. After he gets to a certain point, obviously, like you said, you get a half-time one every now and then. And after that, you're not expecting subs. You're calling out for it, and it don't make sense to me because he is a coach who does adapt. And we have had games this season where things aren't really working out, and you make a quick change in the second half. We, as a fan base, everyone looking in says our depth is incredible. Look at our bench. Look at the options we have. He has so many options. Even nowadays in the Premier League, you're allowed 5 subs. He doesn't use them. I don't understand as well why Felix is so below. I'm not a Felix guy. Like, I think I know what he is. He's not. I don't think he's remarkable, but I know what he is. He doesn't start Conference League games, and he doesn't get any minutes in the league. What's going on with that? In Nkunku, like we're literally facing a low block. There's 15 minutes left. We need a goal. I know it worked out against Bournemouth. Why are you not playing Mark Gu at least so we can actually try go for headers? No, that's just a different type of option. I don't see the Jackson and Nkunku sub when we need a goal. I know we don't have confidence in that. I know the Bournemouth game happened and that was a great moment. We needed those 3 points, but that's not the norm. In terms of Palmer, I don't think he's undroppable. For some reason, I know he's somebody who can win us a game, but I don't like the fact that he can never get hooked. Because now he starts to play. Often at times, it's like he plays like he knows I'm not getting hooked. You need that. Like we have the energy that we give to Noni Madueke, for example, when we know, okay, you're playing shit. You need to hold a bench. You need, and it inspires him to push on when after he's been dropped. Why can't we do that for Palmer? I don't understand. And this isn't an agenda or whatever, but no one's undroppable.
Yep, I agree. Like Conte used to do that. Mourinho used to do that. Hell, Conte would hook Hazard off every game, win or loss, regardless. You're playing 70, 80 minutes and you're off. I'm protecting you. But it's not been the only game that we've said that too. Yeah,
and also it's he doesn't use the full complement subs, fine, but you would have thought that given the schedule we're going to have for the next couple of weeks or something, it's like use the full amount just to even rotate, even if you're going to play some of those players in the next game. Do you know what I mean? Just like you're right. They were too late because they needed longer time to try and to unlock the low block. Essentially, you know what I mean? Needed longer. And you're right. It's like Palmer's not playing well. Then it doesn't really. If he's not going to play well, then hook him off.
Because you think about it as well. Like we're in the Christmas period. Right. So, there's more games coming up. Like, now we're looking at Caicedo, Enzo, Jackson, Palmer. All these men have played 90 minutes.
3 games in 6 days coming up. It's 3 games in 6 days coming up. Or 6 or 7 in a week, something like that. And then the FA Cup, the weekend after. So, it's 4 games in 10, 11 days or something like that. 12 days, something like that. So, yeah, it's a point where, and I know he's going to heavily rotate against Morecambe. We all know that, right? He's going to heavily rotate against Morecambe. It's going to look more like a Conference League side against Morecambe than it is. But it's just he needed to be, and I credit him more because it seems to be sometimes he's more reactive if there's something going like more adversity. Like at Spurs, he reacted at halftime. Right, we were down 2-1. He made the change. We were on it. Do you know what I mean? It's more. And yesterday was the first time that I thought we came out in the second half and we just weren't on it like we usually are. We usually start better in second halves. We're usually more, attentive. We're usually more up for it. We start again, but yeah, you can say it's credit to the Everton. That's fine, but I just think it was. I still think the tactic of us, how slow our play wasn't a Everton issue. It was more a tactical issue, and I just don't understand why.
Also, a bit of a problem-solving issue for us as well, because
right,
I noticed in the first half they were packing out the midfield. There was about 5 or 6 bodies in there, and we couldn't find our way in between that. And I think that played a part in how slow our build-up play was in the first half, because it did get a little bit better in the second. It's just we still didn't really have a lot of answers for them in the final third. Sancho would get the ball. He would try and get the best out of Ashley Young, and even when he did, he'd be isolated. Neto, when he gets the better of his fullback, there's just isolated options in the middle. I think part of it also just comes down to the way Everton just set up, because they handled us brilliantly. Shout out Monster in the chat too, big up. But yeah, I think they just handled us really well in the defensive in the final third, and we didn't really have a lot of options for them either. I see someone bring that in saying no one's overreacting and calling Jackson shit. I don't think anybody is. It's just we compared this to the Brentford game, where Jackson didn't have the best of games and he still managed to bag with one of the limited chances he had. I think this is just the exact same performance for him. He just didn't bag his chances. And ultimately, people can say, yeah, that's where the game was lost for us. And I hear it, because there's a chance, the chance wasn't taken, whatever. I also don't really look at that game and think Jackson was completely horrible. It was just, he's going to get those games where the service isn't as complete as it would be in other games. And this is just one of them. He needs to learn to be consistent in those sorts of performances.
That first chance, the ball was behind him. You know what I mean? It was it wasn't dead in front of him. You know what I mean? It was we had to adjust, and he got it on target. Piffer made a good save, but I think it's a bit harsh. Not that you're saying it, but I find it a bit harsh that people are criticising him mostly for that first chance. It was more behind him, and he had to try and adjust. But but that's the thing as well. If it's not working. And go back to Maresca, it's what was the thinking then? Because you've come out the previous game, he said Nkuku's not a 9, right? He said Nkuku's not a 9, yeah? That's what he said in the previous game. And why do you take Jackson off and bring Nkuku on then? that doesn't make any sense. So who was supposed to be the 9 then? If you had Palmer and
off a hat trick too.
Yeah. I'm not blaming Palmer for a bad pass. I'm saying the ball was behind him. That's what it was. Look at it again.
I think that with the Jackson discourse, firstly, I think the performance that he had wasn't great. It was not a good performance. But the weekend of when he decided to have this bad performance was when Isak is firing, Duran is firing, Yao Pedro's getting prop. All the other 9s who we are linked to, even Samuel got his 17th goal in the league. So everyone is at Porto. I don't know if it was in the league. Everyone's looking at it well, okay, all of these 9s that we was linked to are balling, and our striker that we have right now just didn't have a good game. But I think the disrespect is very loud. Jackson's one of the players who has to do 2 times more to get the credit that he deserves. Like I said at the start of the season, I reckon he's going to be a standout player for us. Right now, he's on 9 league goals, 3 assists, 16 games in the league. He's playing very well. I don't know why our fan base have this infatuation with spending 100 million on a striker and it don't work out, because there's no one. The idea that you have of Jackson or what you're demanding of Jackson doesn't exist in world football. You don't have a striker who scores every 2 or 3 chances that they get, and it's what I'm saying, you're bagging 25 goals in the league and all of these things. Your link up's amazing. That's not happening. We're better off developing Jackson to that, and I actually think he's actually been good. Now, I can say that to say also that we do need a different type of profile in games like this, where okay, we need a change. It's not working out. Let's switch it up. Let's start spamming crosses. Let's start doing different things. We don't have that profile, so we can say yeah, we need another striker for that sense. But I don't believe the whole we can't win the league with Jackson. He's not the 9. That all of this disrespect that's coming out of nowhere. And then you look at the big chances missed in the league this season. You'll find that Jackson's up there. Not Jackson. Haaland's top of it. Salah's second. You know, Isak is on there. You saw the chance Isak, the one-on-one he missed last week. Like, this is the thing. I don't understand why Jackson is not allowed to get away with the things that the players that you guys want to sign gets away with. It's weird.
No, it's a fickle thing. Because, like, you made a very good point where it's the week where Isak scored. It's the week where Duran scored and everything. And that's why I say it's fickle, not from you, but from the people who are running that narrative. Because we've seen how many weeks where Jackson's been bagging and neither of them have. And both of them have been wasteful in their games in the weekend as well. It goes both ways. It comes and
Duran
goes.
was wasteful. Duran scored against City, but he had several other chances he wasted against City. And Isak, look at the chances he wasted. I know he scored against us, but look at the chances he wasted against us and in other games. And he bagged a hat-trick against Ipswich. Very, very good. But we're talking about a guy, Jackson, who's got 9 he's only played league games, by the way. He's not played any other games this season. Do you know what I mean? He's got 12 DNA in 15 games. He's literally 4/5 of his games this season. He's had a goal contribution. Do you know what I mean?
And all he's done since joining us is just rise. The trajectory just keeps going up and up. So even with off games like this, like I don't think I'll ever be in a position where I think we're going to need to upgrade on him. Go and get a different profile. I'm with it. For games like Everton, you look further back, games like Nottingham Forest or Crystal Palace at the start of the season, that's a game where you could do with like a plan B. And I hear that. But that's just it.
But I go back to what Maresca said during the week. Cuckoo's not a 9, but then you take Jackson off and replace him with Cuckoo. It's like, well, it's very confusing what you're saying then. So you brought in Cuckoo to play the 9 because I don't understand that. Do you know what I mean? Surely you would bring Cuckoo on to play with Jackson. Do you know what I mean?
It's like if you look at anybody specifically,
right,
it kind of might have to be Maresca in terms of the way he handled this game.
Yeah, it has to be on Maresca. It's totally on Maresca this game. It's totally on Maresca this game, the way it is. Because apart from the Jackson chance, and I think there was one at a corner, and I can't remember anything else really that we had in terms of a game. And it needed changing, and he changed it. He tried to change it, but it was just too late. That's it. And the personnel he changed was just, in my opinion, was just not the right one. Yeah.
Yeah, and even...
What point? How much politics plays in the substitutions he makes? Because someone like Gu, for example, he's on a hat trick. He's obviously the profile that we would look to in a situation like that. Obviously, if you told me this 3 months ago, we're gonna sub on Gu and we need to go in the league, I'm gonna laugh at you. But I think he's worked towards a point where you could get a cameo now. You're like you mentioned, Andrew, and Nkunku, he's mentioned so many times now. This is the third time he said it. Nkunku's not a 9. Okay, so you have a 9 on the bench, and then you see, for example, Felix, who can play in a 10. He could play left wing over Sancho. I think when he started against Leicester, he was quality in a low block where we need to be in the pocket. Simon Palmer as an option creates a lot of space. Why is he forcing the Nkunku? Do you reckon it's because of how the wages he's on? And these things?
I just honestly think he doesn't. I think, can I be honest with you, I think if we had another striker option that was more of a higher profile than Gu, he'd be on the bench and used. I just don't think he thinks Gu's ready yet. And I would say we're not talking about starting Gu. We're just talking like minutes off the bench. Do you know? We're not. No one's angling for Mark Gu to start. That would be madness. Do you know what I mean? It's like, but at least give yourself another option. The guy's on a high. I know it was against Shamrock, but it doesn't matter. He's on a high in terms of goal scoring. Like, change it. And like you said, CB, you can't come out one day and go, and Nkunku's not a striker, but then you sub him for your striker. It's like, what are we doing here? Do you know what I mean? And it's not in terms of when I say it's on Maresca, it's like I'm not like angry at him. I'm just a bit confused by what he did, especially the previous games. And everyone's going, "Oh yeah, we miss Cucurella so much," but we shouldn't be missing a left back so much that it changes fundamentally our tactics. You know what I mean? So much against Everton. Do you know what I mean? It shouldn't really mess up that much. And I think can I be honest with you? I think he overthought it on Sunday. I think he tried to be a little bit too clever. I think he tried to be a little too clever for his own good, and it backfired.
It's the Pep gene. It's the Pep gene. You know where he comes from.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think he overthought it. The gusto thing for me never works in inversion. He just doesn't have. He just can't do it for me.
Kept going.
He's so right-footed. It's unbelievable. He's so right-footed. But I just think he tried to be a bit clever, and then the subs were, like I said, the subs were just
like,
too late.
You see, just to go back to the goo point, yeah. Do you remember that chance where the ball got hoofed? Enzo, which in terms of physicality, I've never seen him run like that. I was shocked. He ran there.
Yes.
And he was all alone. Mark Gu would have been like, and Nkunku took him. It took maybe like 5 seconds for Nkunku to come in the frame. Had Mark Gu been there, I think that's a 2v1 situation and he's through on goal. Because he's gonna press, he's relentless with the press. That's something that you know you're gonna get. When Nkunku came on the pitch yesterday, you could see that they were more comfortable on the ball. We're not getting the ball off them anymore when we needed to. It was more they were more relaxed. They know, okay, Jackson's not pressing us anymore. Yeah. We can drop off. With someone like Gu, especially in that chance that I'm not Gu's biggest fan. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I don't advocate for him a lot, but like, I literally saw that chance when Enzo was running through, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I wish Gu was on the pitch right now."
Because it's not about. You're right. It's not about that. It's about striking instinct. A natural striker makes that run, right? They should make that run. And Cuckoo's not a natural 9, as we know, so he's not going to think like that. He's probably going to think about either drifting out wider or trying to come closer to receive the ball or something like that. Whereas Mark Gu and even Jackson, to a certain point, will try and make that run. So he gives an option of a pass to whoever, or to Enzo or something like that. And you're right. But I don't know. I don't think it's politics or anything like that. I just think he just doesn't think he's ready and stuff like that. And I think, like I said, I think if we had a more bigger striker in terms of name value and something like that, or I think he'd be on the bench and he'd probably be used more. And that's where we were saying, even with Jackson, no matter who it is, that we were looking for another striker for this squad, just in case these type of games happen. But I just don't know. It was just a bit confusing given his words the previous match. You know what I mean?
And just going off of Maresca's words, the past week he's been asked about just January window and outgoings and so forth. Should we expect one of Nkunku or Felix to be leaving this window, especially like I mentioned, Felix isn't starting Conference League games, and then he's getting no minutes at all in the league. This is a 50 million signing. He's a bit high profile. Yeah. I don't know what's going on. And then of course I should assume we're going to get a striker in January as well.
I'll be real. I don't think either of them leave in January. Felix, I think there's a high likelihood that he stays through to next season. I'd be very surprised if we let him go. Just based off Maresca's quotes about him as well, he seems to really like João Felix.
I think Nkunku's gone. Whether it's January or next summer, I think Nkunku's definitely gone.
Summer, I think,
because now he's saying he's not a 9, so now he's saying he's a 10. But we've got Felix and Palmer who can play the 10. So where do this guy's not? And unfortunately, I just don't. I don't think Maresca. I don't know what it is. Maresca. Oh, of course, Maresca bigs up Christian Nkunku, but I don't think he knows where he's going to play him. Essentially, do you know what I mean? Like you said, he said he's not a number 9, but then number 10 was sort of sorted. We've got Estevao in emergencies. You can even play Sancho in the 10. Do you know what I mean? It's like I just don't know. And unfortunately, it's like right player. It could be right. That injury really effed him up. That last summer injury really messed him up in terms of like how he could settle, what he could show us. Do you know what I mean? I believe if he had that injury and he was allowed to, and he thrived like last year, we wouldn't be talking this much. He'd be in that team he'd be
Dude,
doing.
but you know the way football works is so crazy because had he
Yeah.
not had that injury, is
Yeah.
Palmer become the player that he is today?
Does he?
That's what-
CB, does
that's
he
why
even
it's
join?
mad.
Does he even join? Does Palmer even join if Nkunku's
Yeah,
injured?
it's
Do you know what I mean?
crazy,
Does
it's
he even
crazy.
join? That's mad, isn't it? But next year we're getting like Esteval's coming in as well. You know what I mean?
They're
Be
the
part of the
next
squad.
pies.
It's like it's one of those things. I think we need to buy an out and out number 9, not a number 10 or a wide player anymore, because we've got those in abundance. We do need to buy, whether you're going to upgrade, whether you're going to boost you up to the first team anyway, whether you're going to put him onto the bench or whether you're going to get an actual number 9, like I know we're linked to that Liam Delap and something like that, but you know, it's just
I'd go for Duran again in the summer. I mean, not in the summer, in January. I know he signed a new contract, but surely there must be some sort of release clause there. But I think everyone is focusing too much on Jackson and Palmer's performances. Rightfully so, they didn't score. It is what it is, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think the problem really stems from the over-reliance on them two. They're the only two people we can get goals from. We don't have goals in our midfield. Enzo was scoring at the start of the month. Salute to him, but he's not really a goal scorer. Sancho's not a goal scorer. Neto doesn't score goals. Where else are the goals coming from, barring Jackson and Palmer? Then when they both blank, it's slander all over the timeline. Oh, these guys are not good enough. Oh, Palmer and away games, this and that, hook him. But you can't expect them. We're literally squeezing out of this sponge.
I think
so
Neto
much.
and Felix could get thrown into that as well, to be fair.
Yeah, they don't.
Like
score.
Felix is definitely like a goal scorer, just in the way that he plays. He's always looking for the shot.
That's why I'd like Felix to start over Sancho, because he's got an eye for goal. He does the whole like in the pockets thing as well very well. I think if Cucurella was overlapping him, he'd do well there. But he has an eye for goal. He's hungry for goals. I
think we're actually quite unique in terms of there's two players who can regularly score goals, because like we like look at it. I mean, look at Liverpool. They're very heavy Salah. They rely on Salah quite a lot. And even Arsenal really rely on Saka, don't they? Do you know what I mean, in terms of creating or doing something like that? I think we're fortunate that way. But the point would be for me is if it's not working for those two in the game, then change it. Do you know what I mean? Don't keep like trying to run them into the ground, essentially trying to figure, like hoping they're going to sort something out. Sometimes it's not going to work for these players in some games. Like Sunday, it wasn't. Palmer from it wasn't even second half. In the first half, he wasn't playing well. Do you know what I mean? He wasn't playing well all game. If he's not playing well up until the 60th, 65th minute, try something different. Move him, or maybe, do you know what? Move him to the right. Do you know? Move him to the right for that game if you're going to bring on Nkunku or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Then move Neto to the left. Try and switch it up. And I was just like sitting there going, it's nothing really much changed. You've just actually taken a striker off and just put a number 10 on. But going back to the thing, it's like, yeah, well, maybe we do. I think that's just football in general at the moment. There's not really many teams, you know, who have multiple goal scorers. Do you know what I mean? It's just what happens. What happens when those
more goals from
when
the
your
wingers.
main goals? It's the point is what happens when your main goal scorers aren't playing well in a game. How do you then? What can you do to change it as a manager? And he didn't do that on Sunday.
I think that's where we get to the point where it's like we do need to be more willing to take Palmer off if he's in a bad game, because I get the sentiment of you keep your best players on, they could get moments of magic and all of that. But I do also think we've been there before. Like Liverpool away, for example, we've had that same question mark of, do you take Palmer off? Do you leave
Arsenal
him on
at home? Arsenal at home. Arsenal at home is the one.
Even United.
If we have this attacking depth that we are proud of and we believe in, and we all believe in the quality of our attacking depth, let's utilize it.
Yeah.
Utilize it. If Palmer's not having a good game, nothing wrong with just saying, off. We'll save you for Fulham. Fuck it. Because, like, there's other options. There's João Felix. There is Nkunku. There is Mark Giu. There are players that we could use.
Lewis, it's not even like saying saving Fulham. It's just like saying it's not your day. It's just not your day today. Do you know what I mean? We tried. It didn't work out. You know?
We don't have to hope.
It'd be different in the home game. When we play Everton at home, it'll be different in the home game. We'll slap Everton in the home game. Because it would just be different for some reason. Do you know what I mean? It's just, it didn't work today. I'm going to try something else. It's just, you can't. Plum's great and has been great, but sometimes it happens to all players. Sometimes great players don't have a good game or they're shut out. And you need to change it, whether you change it with them in the team or you take them out of the team for that game. I'm not saying like he's on the bench or anything, but you just need to change it up. And he has been doing that, and that's why it's like I'm not going in hard on Maresca that much, because this is the first time since probably since the Man United game where I've been like really frustrated with a Chelsea display.
Do you know what's annoying? Yeah, is the amount of options we have. Why are the subs so predictable? We know what subs are coming. We know, okay, Jackson's coming off for Nkunku. If one of Noni or Neto are not starting, that's changes getting made, and that's pretty much it. That's too jarring. We have so much depth. Like you said, Lewis, like we're so proud of our options and our depth and all of these things there. Why are those two the go-to subs? And then that's not. It reminds me of the whole Kovacic and Barkley sub. That Sarri used to do all the time. Like that's literally it.
But you know what, CB? You know what you could have done? Instead of even moving Madueke to the right on Sunday, you could have put Madueke on the left and just try him against Ashley Young on the left. Do you know what I mean? You could have tried him.
Speaking of Ashley Young, why did Sancho make him look like he's some serious unstoppable right back in 2024? We're in 2025 next week.
I just don't think there was options around him, because I think in isolation he didn't do too badly against Ashley Young. It was just after that, because there was like 2 or 3 players around him and the passing lanes kept getting cut out. So like when he does manage to get past him, there's nothing else for him to do. So he has to either retain possession or pass back, and then it just reduces his effectiveness. But so I think again just comes down to just Everton defensively.
That's the whole thing, Lewis. If he actually started or changed it to move Gusto to right back, bring Vega on, or whether you invert him or not, you can then move Enzo up a bit more, right? Like he has done previously, and then Enzo becomes an option on the left-hand side. Do you know what I mean? For support. But
this is when you can highlight missing Cucurella, because I've seen a lot of people they're talking about Cucurella being missing like that. This is the impact, you know. People are talking about it in terms of goals as if that would have impacted. I know he scored the last 2 games he's played, but I wouldn't go that far. But yeah, in terms of overlapping with Sancho, that was missed because Sancho has his limitations. He doesn't have the burst of pace, you know, he doesn't have that extra yard. He's technical, he holds on to the ball very well. But without the overlap, he's isolated, and you find he's just doing Abdi shuffle ball. Like he's just ball rolls. Nothing's really happening. Like that Enzo thing when he was through on goal, he done the run, and he passed it to Sancho. Sancho really pissed me off, but he just held on to the ball for a bit and then just passed it back, and we're back on our halfway line. So what the fuck? I wanted him to force the issue a bit more, but I didn't realize he can't do so without Cucurella.
Should have dribbled more.
But then you see how it leads to a domino effect. Because there was no Cucurella, now Gusto's going to have to play on the left instead of the right. Because of that, now Disassi has to play on the right-hand side as well. And then the build-up play on both sides is limited as a result of it.
But I hope he learns from this. And next time if Cucurella is out, leave Gusto right back. Or, you know, or if we had Lavia or something, we could have put like Kais right back or something like that. Do you know what I mean? It's like, because they didn't do anything in central midfield to us, so we could have, like, if Lavia was free or something, we could have put Lavia on. But like I said, adjust it, put Vega on at left back or invert in left back or whatever, and move Enzo up for support a bit more so he can affect the game, which he has done in the previous games. Do you know what I mean? It's just
I think Maresca just doesn't play Vega like that.
As good as Cucurella has been, we should not be affected by him being out for one game like this. You know what I mean? He shouldn't have to change much. He overthought and changed too much.
On the bright side, what I would say though is defensively with this makeshift back 4, I like this clean sheet. I know it's Everton; they don't score a lot. This clean sheet, Tosin, for example, he's showing that in this right centre back position. I know it was a CCB and all of this tactical stuff, but I look at what I see on the formation lineup. He was playing right centre back, and that position, I think I'm starting to feel as though I can trust you in that position, because when Fofana went down and we had Badger Chile playing there, and then I didn't like his first half against Spurs. I know he grew into the game, and then Tosin coming in, I was thinking, yo, this centre back situation, we are fucked. You've come in the last couple games, and I'll be honest, the calmness you have in terms of corners, I'm more confident. I know, okay, defending corners, you're getting rid of the ball, you're handling things, you're winning every tackle, that last ditch off the line clearance, quality stuff. The fact that I can now say, you know what, Tosin, until for the foreseeable future, I think you are the centre back next to Cole. You complement each other very well. There's a nice blend of physicality and technicality there. Obviously, it's Everton and Brentford. We haven't truly been tested. But I like what I'm seeing, if I'm being honest. And as well as that, I actually want an apology from a lot of you guys that are in the comments, because once again, Bob Sanchez has been unbelievable. When I was saying this, you guys was, oh, this is a gimmick. Oh, CB's talent ID is terrible. They're saying I got Tuchel's talent ID, all sorts of the stuff. Yeah, and I said this before December. Now we're here. Just look back at this month of December. Aston Villa, great save against Watkins 2 times when it was 1-0. Spurs made a save, a top save against Son when it was 3-2.
Spurs, you still weren't good.
Yeah, I mean, what was after Spurs? Brentford.
Yeah,
great stops.
That was good.
And then yesterday against Everton. That's 4 games in a row where he's come in big pause for the team. Now, at what point do we now say as a fan base, you know what, fair enough, in terms of shot stoppers, you're probably one of the best in the league. Okay, maybe we are a bit harsh on you. Maybe we could actually win a league title or be in a title race with you as our goalkeeper. Because if the disrespect's going to be loud, at least let the praise be just as loud. Me personally, the past year, you guys know, I've been crashing Enzo Fernandez relentlessly. Now, when the performances have been good, I've been just as loud. I think yesterday he was good. A lot of people were getting onto Enzo. I said, oh, he's probably our man of the match after him and Tosin. I believe credit can go the same way as criticism. Other than that, if it becomes you're not willing to give credit, then it's an agenda. And I would like to believe, as a fan base, we're way above agendas. Sanchez has had a good, solid month of being a top goalkeeper.
No, I actually agree on that. He's had a very solid month in general. I still don't think he was great in the Spurs game, but if we're going to talk the month of December, he's been very good for us. I still need a bit more to believe in him. I won't front. Because I started believing in him around August, September when he was producing a similar run. And then October and November happened and that wasn't pretty to watch. So I'm going to need a little bit more from myself personally, but I'm not going to act like he hasn't been good this month. He's been very dependable. Very dependable. Brentford, he was one of our best players. Yesterday, he was one of our best players as well. Villa, I think everybody played well, but Sanchez is included in that. Just keep this level. Genuinely just keep this level, and then I could start believing in it more in the long term. For now, though, you're doing exactly what we need from you. I think that's the best way to describe it.
Yeah, I think I need to see him more against the bigger teams as well, because that's where his mistakes have cost us in terms of points and stuff like that. Other mistakes he hasn't really cost us that much because we've been able to overcome them. But he played very well over the last month. I've got no issue with him, apart from maybe the Spurs game overall. But no, he played very well, and that was a good save, a very good save against Harrison at the weekend. It was very good. I just need a bit more. That's all. Because to be honest with you, and it may sound a bit fair, I need to wait. I need to grade him at the end of the season. Do you know what I mean? I need to. If we go out of the title race, for me, he doesn't need to be one of the reasons why we're out of the title race. If you understand what I'm saying, if we go out of the title race or we finish second or third, I don't want to have a conversation about Sanchez cost us this and this. That'd be a fair judgment for me. If I come out and go, well, and someone says, how did the goalkeeper do? And they go, Sanchez was actually kept us in games or done this and that, then I'm happy with it. I don't want Sanchez to fail. I hate going on about goalkeepers, but I just need a bit more because it's just like you said, that while overall we've done well this month, it's just that even that Spurs game, I'm a bit like, there's still some things in there, but he played very well. and Tosin as well, or Tosin, and stepped in and played very well as well. Good block, very good block against Everton at the weekend when they had that second chance in the second half. Very good block, control overall. It's just, it's
That's
played
like in
very
general
well.
that we can say he had a good month. Like,
Yeah, Tosin's played very well, mostly overall. I don't think he's actually had a bad game since he stepped in. So
yeah, Brentford, he was very, very impressive. And like, I didn't notice him as much in the Everton game solely because of the nature of the opposition that we were playing. But he had a key block for us, some good passing.
yeah,
Defended well when we needed him to defend. And that's the second good performance from him. I've got no problems with seeing him start up until when Fofana's back. And even then, don't have to rush him either now.
yeah. I agree.
So he was a standout for me. Sanchez was as well. Caicedo and Enzo had good games as per usual. It was again just a forward line. Palmer, Jackson, Sancho. I don't think either of them like really stood out for us. Everton did their job against us. So the weather definitely didn't help. Also found out that we allegedly should have got a penalty. I didn't want to touch on it too much just because I never like leaving everything at the referee's door. But allegedly, Pickford should have conceded a penalty in the first half for that slide he made on Malo Gusto. I don't know if you saw that, but here we are.
Yeah, I did.
VAR doesn't really help us.
But because he got part of the ball, even though it's the faintest of touches, apparently that's why at the time we didn't get awarded anything because he got the slightest of ball. And I thought that didn't matter if like the whole, because like I could say the same about Romero last year against Spurs. You know, against when he got sent off, he got part of the ball, but the follow through was was mad. And can I just mention Pickford's other thing where, like, remember that dust up he had with Colwell in the first half?
Vaguely, yeah. I didn't see the start of that.
There's an image, there's a close image when Colwell's trying to get the ball. Pickford comes out like he's jumping with his knee. Or he's going to shoulder barge and he just misses Colwell by that much. Like, he's a hooligan, this guy, man. Honestly. He is that's the same type of action he did against Van Dijk.
Serious, isn't it?
That's the same type of action he did against Van Dijk
one.
Yeah, that's the same type of action. What goalkeeper comes out with his feet like that?
Speaking of, I just got the thing here. Look at that.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, that's mad.
Thing.
Yeah.
See, the same damn thing, but here we are. Here we are. Just shit. But whatever.
I really hate this. Game. I really don't. This bit nothing. I don't know why they admit to this stuff. I don't know why. It's like, what does it do for us? Like 24 hours later, what does it do for us sitting here going, "Oh yeah, thanks, Tennis. We should have had a penalty. Cheers, thanks for that."
We're just being honest.
Yeah, just being honest. That's great. Yeah, that's great. It's like, well, why didn't?
Hey, honestly, don't really help us now.
VAR people then. All of them VAR people then being stood down for the Boxing Day game since they should have given that. Is that what's happening? Because I didn't read anything about that.
If you speak out against them, you'll be banned for the next match.
Honestly, ridiculous. I told you, it's VAR's a great system. We just have incompetent people running it. That's all it is.
I'll never be one of the guys to say get rid of it because I remember exactly what it was like before. Everybody was begging for VAR. How do we not have technology in football? Isn't it the
ironic thing? Isn't it the ironic thing? We had the League Cup this week that had no VAR, and people were begging for the VAR to be in with some of those decisions, like against Liverpool, against Arsenal.
And here in this country, like we can't even get fucking semi-automated.
Stuff just can't even get that right. Yeah, can't even get that right.
So if they tried hard enough, they could get AI VAR and just pattern everything.
I think that eventually will. But I think by the time we get to the Saudi Arabia World Cup, I know that's in about 8 years or 10 years actually, but that's when I think it's going to be AI offsides, AI decisions, all of these things, and
robot lines
moving up.
A robot line.
Good.
That's what we're going to have.
Yeah,
can rely on the robots more than humans.
I've got a question for you guys. How do you start to look at things if we drop points against Fulham on Boxing Day? Touch wood, by the way.
Yeah, God forbid.
Are you assuming like I am that Liverpool will obviously beat Leicester? Oh, you're assuming that,
Yeah.
right? I hope.
When it comes to a title race, I think you have to assume that the team's gonna win. Like that's how I do the hate watches. I assume you win, and then if you don't win, then it feels good. I don't want to get my hopes up. Like the Spurs.
Yeah. I mean, that would be even just like draw. You just like even if we draw against Fulham or something like that.
Yeah, we just don't win.
Yeah, I would. It would lessen my approach. It would lessen me saying we are in a title race because the points difference would be bigger. Do you know what I mean? I'd say we're in the faintest of title races, but I would be going, then my mind may be switching, going, okay, now it's about getting more points, as many points as possible that we're not in a top 4 race. Like we're not like scrambling the last 5 games of the season. That's what it will be. I know when I say we're in a title race, I know we're not going to win it. A huge percentage of me thinks we're not going to win it because I just think Liverpool are better than us at this point. And these players haven't been in a title race. I don't know how they're going to react. But yeah, my mind would be I'm not as confident as being in a title race. I'll still say we're in a title race because we're mathematically in a title race, but it'd be like I wouldn't be as boastful about it. If you understand what I'm saying, it'd be like, yeah, we're in a title race.
Losing to Fulham would be a shock for me. That would be a really. Because I expect us to bounce back against them. We have a good record. We're good in general.
I think it might be the same scoreline as against Brentford. Fulham are. I know they dropped points against Southampton at the weekend, but they're very well organised.
Fulham are a very tough team. Yeah,
very tough.
Even then, they're the sort of team we should beat because they ain't going to sit back.
Yeah. It's not going to be a low block, isn't it? Yeah,
it'll be a mid block.
Yeah, Everton's low block. I'm going to call it an underground block. That's how low it was. It was basically underground settings against Everton. That's the only team that's ever going to play like that. We're going to play this season. That the lowest of the low block like that. I mean, that was literally they might as well have played only in their own penalty area on Sunday. That's what it was, but. It's not a gimme, though. It's not a gimme against Fulham. They're a very good side, but it might be the same result scoreline as it was against Brentford, like a 2-1 or something like that. Yeah, we are talking about Boxing Day as well. We know how bougie some of those results can be on Boxing Day. Do you know what I mean?
I also expect the players to be hungry after a game against Everton. So
we have dropped points before on Boxing Day. I think we're fortunate that it's not like an early kickoff as well. It's like at a normal time, like at 3 or 3:30 or something like that. So.
Yeah, 3 p.m.
Yeah, I wouldn't see. For me, this is all about getting a result more than a performance on Thursday. This would be more like get a result, then we rock into Ipswich, see what Newcastle did to Ipswich. We should be able to do that to Ipswich as well, and then we rock into Palace. Do you know what I mean? So I think we should aim before the FA Cup game. We should be talking about us sitting on 44 points before the FA Cup game. So on 35 right now, I think we should be aiming for 9 points. Nothing,
Yeah,
that's what should be aiming
for. I don't think we should be dropping points in any game. I
think, yeah, right. we should have dropped to Man City, but if we was to drop points, and I don't like to wish it, it'd probably be the Bournemouth game. That's not going to be an easy one.
That's at home. Even at home,
that's a very mixed record. They have beaten us a few times at home.
They're giant slayers, man. That's what it is. They've taken points of Arsenal, City, United. I think I'm forgetting someone else.
Most of them have been at home apart from the United game. But it will be a tough game, I think. Still, they're very well organised as well. They're like there's 3 well organised teams for me. There's obviously Forest, Bournemouth, and Fulham. They're 3 well organised teams.
But hey, we're just as well organised. So I just think they'll come to try and play their game, and that suits us. Yeah, if they come out to play football, we'll play football, and we'll play better than you. So I think we'll still have something for We'll have something for both the teams because Ipswich are the exact same thing. They ain't going to sit back. They're going to come out, give us a match. We'll handle that. We'll tweak our tactics to suit playing against them and get the result. Ultimately, Everton was just frustration to the nth degree, and we just couldn't handle that.
Ipswich are a different team when with Liam Delap in it than not in it. They're a very different team. Very different team. I saw them at the weekend against Newcastle. And Newcastle are a good team, but they handled them very, very easily on Saturday. Wasn't even close.
And to be honest, we'll rotate even more for that Ipswich game than what Newcastle would do. Because I don't think we'll see a lot on Thursday. But I would still expect to see Palmer starting, Caicedo starting, Enzo starting, most of the big names starting.
I want Jackson to start. I don't like the fact that Jackson didn't get to start against Southampton as well. Because look at all these Isak conversations and all of this. We faced the worst team in the league. He didn't start. We put 5 past them or 6 past them. Let's have a chance.
Begging for more.
Yeah, give him a chance to go against Ipswich and just get his numbers up, man.
So with that in mind, would you have him not start the Fulham game?
How soon is the Fulham and how many days apart?
I think it's a 4-day gap.
Fulham's on Thursday, Ipswich is on Sunday, and then I think it's Palace on New Year's Day. Is it
on Saturday?
I just wouldn't play him for 90 minutes against Fulham. I'll play him for 60 minutes, depending on the result.
I think if we're winning, because he's still on 4 yellow cards as well. So if we're winning comfortably, I think you take Jackson off.
When do the yellow cards reset?
I think it's is it the 19th? I think it's halfway through. So Ipswich game would be the halfway point.
Ipswich is on Monday. In April. Let me check.
No. April's when it goes away completely. April's when it goes away completely. Because remember, if you go past 5, then 10 gets you a 2-match ban.
Yeah. First 19 matches. Players who receive a total of 5 yellows in their first 19 will be given a suspension.
Yeah. So Stevie's right. What?
Then after that, if you get 10 bookings over your first 32 Premier League games, you'll be suspended for 2 games.
2 games.
And then it gets wiped after the 32nd game. So
yeah,
it's I think if we're winning comfortably against Fulham, total control, it gets to 70th minute or something like that, and then you take Jackson off.
The bigger concern is probably the back line. Because Tosin and Fofana will probably and Cole will probably have to play both games.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. I don't think there'll be much rotation until the Morecambe game, if I'm being honest with you. I think that's where the big rotation. I think a lot of rest will come with the Morecambe game. I don't think we can afford to rotate a lot here and there. I think you'll see a core of 7 play throughout the 7 or 8 play throughout the rest of the Christmas period. Say a Noni will come in for a Neto and vice versa, or Felix might come in for a Sancho, stuff like that. Maybe if Lavia's fit, you bring Lavia back. Stuff like Cucurella's obviously going to come in and stuff like that. So and you move Gusto to right back. So it's I don't see a lot of rotation in my opinion.
I think we've only got a little crisis in the defensive side anyway. So as long as Tosin and Cole will stay fit, there isn't really too much for us to worry about. And Disassy's still there as an emergency option anyway. With Cucurella back, you'll probably see Disasy start at centre back against maybe Ipswich, and then you rotate between the other 2.
I don't know. I don't think he starts. I don't know why you would break up a defensive partnership with Tosin and Cole. I just don't see the point.
I think
Disassy's. Yeah, but if they are fit,
if Fofana comes back, we start playing Fofana right back like he was doing before, and then give Tosin and Cole a run. Until Tosin gives us a reason to get dropped, I don't think he should get dropped.
Yeah, I agree. And it's if you start, you just don't rotate unless the back 4, you don't really rotate a lot because you try and forge partnerships and stuff like that and familiarity, unless there's injury and something like that. I don't see us rotating a lot up until the Morecambe game, for being honest.
Yeah, I hear that, and play whatever the fuck you want for that game, personally.
Yeah, exactly. That's where you play literally a Conference League side. That's what you do.
Yeah, even give some of the youth players a whole second half.
Yeah,
Fuck it,
Tariq
we should have that
George,
game wiped out in
Akinfong,
30.
Mark Yu.
Morecambe, I think, are bottom of League 2.
Yeah,
Double
you,
check.
you can rotate quite a lot for that game, in my opinion. It's at home as well. It's not away, so you can rotate a lot. In
They
that
are
game.
rock bottom of League 2.
Can you just bring
Yikes.
can you bring Arabilo's the last comment up for me, please? I just think yeah, that's blasphemy on Rudiger right there. That's blasphemy right there. Absolute blasphemy.
That's
Okay.
blasphemy on tossing as well, man. Zuma was just recovery tackles, and that was it.
That is outrageous.
And, good aerial threat. Let me not even disrespect.
If anything, the
that leap. That
Sassy's
leap
more
was
Zuma.
nuts.
Yeah,
Yes.
the Sassy's, you're right. The Sassy's more Zuma. You're right.
That's fact.
The Sassy
Big up
Zuma
to
after
Divko.
Zuma's injury. The Sassy Zuma after Zuma's injury. That's what the Sassy
That's
is.
mental. Well, you know what's mad though, yeah? I think with this Sassy, I can't even say that really after that Newcastle game in the Carabao. But I think he gets judged too much. He doesn't get poch tax. I think with our fan base, we're very specific on who's allowed to get poch tax and who isn't. He doesn't fall under the poch tax. Why is that? Because let's say he doesn't run a games at centre back.
And you know what? He's played more this season. This season he's played more right back than centre back.
That's the thing. I'd say it's more right back tax than anything. He's played at right back so much and had such bad performances there. Everyone's just written him off. It's like, oh, he's shit. Fuck the Sassy. I don't ever want to see the Sassy play. Just keep him away from them wide areas. Keep him away from the wide areas and you're good.
He was doing Joga Benito in them wide areas against West Ham this season, though. I've seen stepovers, roulettes.
Wasn't it Fofana playing right back against West Ham?
Yeah, then he came off.
Fofana
came off, and then Disassi had a little cameo and he was just doing a bunch of skills.
Oh, I
remember that. Yeah, second half. Yeah, second half. It was a training session. I remember that. They were just bopping the ball about. Yeah.
For me, like Disassi, like he needs to play more minutes in the center. Then I think people would respect him a little bit more.
Yeah, I agree.
Big up to Jivko saying big up the panel, up the Chels, big up to you, my guy. Merry Christmas to every single one of you that's watching. It's been another really entertaining stream. We managed to get a lot of good discussions out of a 0-0 draw. So shout out to the panel, sub to CB, sub to Casually FC. The link is down in the description below. Big up to every single one of you that's locked in. We'll send you over to Lee. Lee Gunner's live right now, so I'll send everybody over there.
Yeah, that's box office. I need to tune into that one. That meltdown's gonna be funny.
Trust, man. Lee Gunner is cinema, bruv. But yeah, everybody head over there, like, subscribe, smash Lewis Raid. We're out, people. Merry Christmas.